Welcome to the Muxall Open IoT channel. I am your host, Michael Crane. Well, I don't really want to make this a cooking channel, but I thought we would cook some ribs today. And one of the things I wanted to show you, a couple things actually. One, it's going to be almost 100 degrees Fahrenheit today outside. And if you come look at the temperature, this is the grill temperature, which is almost 150 degrees. I think that's reading about 140. And that's just been sitting out in the sun for maybe an hour. So one of the things about that I wanted to point out is if you're going to be cooking at 180 degrees and the sun's already heating the grill up to almost 150, cooking at 180 is probably not going to happen. And because it's just going to take a few drops of pellets to heat it the extra 30 degrees or 40 degrees, and that's not going to be enough to keep the grill lit. Okay, so that's one thing we'll look at, and we'll see. I'm going to just put the ribs on and put them on 180 and see what happens, right? Another thing I wanted to show you is I went ahead and filled up my pellet hopper, and I wanted to show you that because we're going to reset the pellet level, and I wanted to show you that I pick a spot so that, like where it's flat right here, I don't know if you can see it, but where it's flat on the edges, this is where I fill it up to, and that's my 100% full mark. So when you're filling up your pellet hopper, you need to choose your 100% full mark so you can time it. And since I'm going to be running the grill most of the day, granted it's going to be pretty low. It's probably not going to use many pellets, but we'll at least be able to get an idea of how much pellets it's going to use and how much pellets it's used. So based on the auger runtime. Okay, so if you want to come down here, we'll go ahead and turn the controller on. Okay, oh, I see it's still on load 447. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and update that to 448. Okay, and one of the things I wanted to show you is, I don't know, yeah, I'll leave the backlight off. Anyway, to get the IP address, you just hit this knob, you just push it in once, that pulls up the menu, scroll down to config, hit enter, and there's your IP address. It looks like 192.168.1.226. Okay, so we'll go in on the bench and update the software real quick. Okay, so I have my web browser pulled up. I'm going to type in the IP address, which was 192.168.1.226. All right. And the password is Muxall, M-U-X-A-L-L. Log in. We're not going to save the password right now. Okay, and wow, look at that. It's okay, it's 128. Sorry, for some reason I read that as 228. I was like, holy moly, we're going to have problems. Okay, so it's reading about 15 to 25 degrees under what that chamber thermometer was reading, and that's about normal for mine. You've seen where my probe is. It's kind of off to the left. It's actually away from the sun side. That probe is basically bolted to the lid, and it's probably pretty hot up there. So anyway, and it's always read differently, and if you guys have a Traeger with this on, you know. Anyway, so we're not going to cook by probe or do anything. Oh, that's what we're doing. We're going to update the software. So we just click on Add Tab, click on Update. Okay, we're 447. We just update it. And a couple people has asked about that. Yeah, so what happens is, so right now it's updating the web app, and so the version is null. In other words, there's no version because it is in between versions. It's kind of like you know, being in between girlfriends. You just don't have one right now, okay? So it's null. So, but we're going to go from girlfriend 447 and upgrade it to girlfriend 0.448. So, excellent. This takes, I don't know, a couple minutes, I guess. So, I'm going to, okay, so it's changed to updating firmware. Then after this, it's going to reboot, and as soon as it reboots, I'll be back. It's rebooted. I type in the password, don't save. You can check the update, make sure everything was okay. I'm sure it was. Yep. Now we're on 0.448, so that's good. Don't need that tab anymore. And since we're sitting in here and inside the air conditioning, because it's pretty hot. Oh, yeah, so we want to refill the hopper. Now you can, so you just click on fill and enter the percent you want to fill it. We're going to fill it to 100%, which is correct. Okay, so that's full, that's done. And you don't have to hit submit when you do this because it does it for you. I didn't show you the inside of the grill, but I know it's dirty. I think I cooked hamburgers on there last time. So I want a cleaning profile. So I'm going to set profile 1 to 350 degrees. And we're going to do that for 20 minutes. Okay. And I'm going to uncheck hold because if hold is checked, that barbecue won't move past this part. No matter what cook time you put in here, as soon as it gets to 0, it's just going to stay there anyway. So when you hold a profile, it'll hold it forever. And so that's good. Okay, so after we clean it in 20 minutes, I'm just going to drop it down to 180 degrees, and we're just going to hold it right there. And that's pretty much it. And that's going to be my rib profile, and I'm just going to leave them on there. It's about 1:30 right now. We're going to eat around 7. So hopefully they'll be done. That might be a little low for, what is that, about 5.5, 6 hours or something like that. So, but I'll check it later. It might have to bump it up a little bit. Okay, so yeah, I'm just going to hold it there. We're not going to do cook by probe. I'll just leave it on max smoke. I don't, like I said, it's not going to hit this 180 mark. It's never going to make it to 180 because it is just entirely way too hot outside, right? And okay, so no cook by probe. It can turn off. Well, that doesn't matter. And okay, so we're going to submit this. Okay, and I'm going to come over here, and I wanted to show you the why it's not going to hit that 180, and that's because of this fuel on minimum in seconds, and it defaults to 4 seconds, and I'm going to leave it there for right now. But if it starts getting too hot, I might bump it down to 3. Now when you start dropping this number down, you risk the chance of it flaming out, which we don't want. I do have flame out protection enabled, set for 20 minutes. And this is adjustable. I'll do a video on testing all these settings. But right now, we're going to just be looking at the pellet usage and this fuel on minimum. So we didn't save anything or change anything, so we're not going to save it. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead. Oh, we want the graph. Add tab, graph. All right. Widen this up a bit. Okay, we got our graph. And you notice it doesn't graph anything. And the only time it graphs is when it's running. And the reason why is because it will fill up. If you let it just sit here and just graph, it will fill up whatever your device you're graphing on with a bunch of useless data. And you probably don't want that, especially if it's on your phone or something that doesn't have a lot of memory. All right, so I turned her on. You can see the chamber temp. It's up to 130 degrees now. It just climbed 2 degrees in just a few minutes. And yeah, so I'll be back in just a few. Okay, so as you can see, the barbecue warmed up. and it kind of floated around 350 for a while, and then as soon as it drops down in temperature, so it's got dropping down to 180 right here, you can see where we pulled open the lid and brushed it down. And this is the perfect time to do it because it's got to go from 350 down to 180. Needs to let off a little bit of heat, so you might as well have the lid open cleaning it, right? That's perfect. You can see a little bounce right there. It's probably going to take a little while to get down close to 180 because, as you saw earlier, the chamber temperature is between 130 and 150. So I'm going to go throw those ribs on there and so we can get them going. Okay, we're going to throw the meat on now. The grill is it's showing 250 at the top here. And actually, the controller's showing 250, so you can see at some point they do match up. But I'm telling you, this thing is hot. Like I mentioned earlier, we already cleaned it. You can come around here and take a look at everything. I'm just going to throw these ribs on here. These are just some baby back ribs my wife picked up. For some reason, we can't hardly get spare ribs anymore. I guess because of the pandemic, right? So anyway, here's my chamber probe. You've seen this before. It's in a can. And here's that thermometer in the lid. You can see there on different sides of the grill, and this one is a little bit higher. Whew, man, that thing is hot. Anyway, now I'll check back in with you guys in about 8 hours. Okay, so this cook has been plugging along for, I don't know, about an hour and a half it looks like. And surprisingly, it got pretty close to 180. I'm surprised, really. Yeah, it is smoking like crazy though. These little dips right here are probably not real well. It's in max smoke mode. We're gonna fix that since we're kind of bumping up against how low this thing can go. And obviously, you can tell that it's not able to reach the 180 mark, and I knew that because it was it's just way too hot outside. So I was gonna look, yeah. So so this is the controller temperature. It's not 102 degrees outside. I don't know what it is. It's supposed to get up in the upper 90s, close to 100 today. And tomorrow it's supposed to be 100. Anyway, we're gonna do a couple things. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it on. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Precision cook. Okay, and go ahead and submit that. And I think that'll take, max smoke is trying to swing it, make it swing. And that close to the bottom edge is probably not a good thing. And you can see we haven't even burned 10% of our pellets yet. I'm not going to go out there and take a picture of the pellet hopper right now. We'll look at it later. Let's see, we've been looking at the graph. One of the other things I was going to do, I'm going to go ahead and bump this fuel on minimum down to 3. I don't normally run it. I like keeping it at 4 on my grill because I know for sure at 4 my grill is not going to flame out no matter what temperature I drop from. Like earlier today, we dropped from 350 all the way down to 180 and with no problems at all. So yeah, I don't want to, I'm not going to leave it at 3, but since I'm kind of messing around, I'm like, I'd really want it to get down to the 180 or at least as close as possible. I will not set it under 3 because I'm almost positive it would flame out then. But anyway, oh, did I save that? Yeah, I think I did. By the way, if you don't know, if you need to save something, these things, they don't blink, but they kind of fade in and out if you need to save something. And as you can see, it's not fading in or out. So, okay, we'll let that settle for, I don't know, a couple hours and I'll be back. Okay, so this is the pellet level after the 6 or 7 hour cook of the ribs. And as you can see, it dropped down. I know it's kind of hard to see. It's a couple inches, I guess. it looks further than that, but this is sloped. And anyway, I just kind of wanted to show you that. That was how much was left in there. So we can go take a look at the GUI, and well, it'd be kind of hard to tell, but we can kind of get an estimate of how much it thinks it used, right? Okay, we're gonna give this a test real quick. They've been on there 6 or 7 hours, I don't remember. As you can tell, they're not very big. They look, well, they're not really falling apart. They look juicy. That's pretty good, I guess. Oh yeah, that's good. I mean, you know, you want them juicy. I mean, it's been at 180, but one of the things, anyway, what I was gonna say, so you want them juicy, and we like them a little bit on the dry side. When I say dry, I don't mean moist and mushy. We like them firm and moist, if that makes sense. Anyway, I'm gonna, this is corn here. The potatoes are in the back. Give them a quick poke. Oh yeah, they went right in good. So the potatoes are good. So I think we're good to go. Let's go take a look at the graph real quick. Okay, so we're back here at the graph. As you can see, right here where my mouse pointer is, it's you can see where I opened the lid and dropped it. And you can see it. I mean, it was pretty much around 180 the whole time. So it took it. Oh, by the way, let's see what the temperature is outside. So it's 94 degrees. So it did drop temperature a bit. It was 101 earlier, and that's a controller temperature. But as you can see, it took it a while to drop down. And this curious thing right here, this was actually when I accessed it, the controller from another GUI web app. So I had my PC, I left my PC running so I capture this whole graph. Let's see, 378 minutes. I don't know what that is, like 6.5 hours or something like that. I'll calculate it out here in a minute. But yeah, I guess it got the controller real busy. And I think the Wi-Fi, it was having some Wi-Fi. It was actually Wi-Fi problems in my house. And yeah, I'm not sure what was going on with that, but it like, I guess it locked the controller. As you can see, I didn't restart this controller. If it would, the graph wouldn't have been, you know, continuous like this. But yeah, that was curious. It like got it real busy or something like that. Anyway, it recovered from it. And then I forget where it was. It was somewhere, I think maybe it was right here. It was when I was showing you earlier, where I changed the smoke mode to precision, and then I dropped the this fuel on minimum to 3 seconds, and it really didn't make too much difference, right? I mean, this is max smoke. This is after the little blow up. That was kind of weird. Anyway, max smoke, it ran 30 minutes like pretty good. And then I changed it, and then it just kind of cruised along here, and yeah, of course there was the sun, and there wasn't a lot of wind, so there's no real wind stuff, but you know, you get pellets in there and they come out in splooges, or they don't come out, and so that's why you get these dips and valleys and that sort of thing. And of course, this is from me opening it up and showing it to you a minute. Now we're going to get a nice little spike and a bounce, and anyway, I think I'm going to pull the food off and call her done. So I'll see you later. Okay, sorry for using my phone to record this. I know it doesn't look very good, but you can see that the auger run minutes is about 86 minutes total run time out of that whole 6 or 7 hour cook. And Yeah, so because remember you know, and if I'm talking like it's past tense, it's actually been a couple days since I made that cook, and after I pulled the ribs off, we went and ate and blah blah blah, and I just didn't have time to finish up this video. But I did want to show you that, yeah, it was only 86 minutes of runtime for that whole cook. So yeah, it didn't use a whole lot of pellets, right? And if we go look at the control panel, it shows, you know, we used about 10%, which might actually be fairly correct. I've actually never timed mine, but I've had my grill for 13 plus years, and I kind of know how long I can cook with a hopper full, and so I just kind of swagged it at about 12 hours, which is 720 minutes, right? I think that's right. Anyway, yeah, there you go. Don't forget, you can support the Muxall Open IoT channel by donation using a credit card and PayPal, or by purchasing products at the Muxall store. Details and links are in the description under this video. Well, that's it for this video. If you liked the video, give it a big thumbs up, that helps, and hit the subscribe button, that really helps. If you have any questions or comments, post them in the comments under this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.